Hello my scrappy peeps, it's Cheyenne from Pixie Craft Co. and welcome to, I believe this will be week 3 of my Disney scrapbook process videos. So here are the photos that I'm going to be scrapbooking today. This is some of the holiday decoration from Main Street, USA at the Magic Kingdom, and it's so fun. This is still from the December 2012 trip. We're going to be scrapbooking this one for a little bit of time here. Alright, so I've got a piece of 12 by 12 white cardstock. I've already put clear gesso on top of it, so it's ready to go. I've got some Cricut cut files. These are available for free through Cricut Design Space, so I just cut out their 2 different trees. So we've got kind of a longer skinny one and a shorter fatter one, and just got them cut out different sizes. And then I've been watching a lot of Missy Whidden, and if you haven't found her, she's pretty wonderful. She inspires me a lot, and she likes to go ahead and cut out cut files like this with the outlines, and then she will back them with different pattern papers. So that's what I'm going to do with the Christmas trees. So that's going to be fun. So I've got the Echo Park Paper Company 6x6 paper pad, Perfect Christmas, by Lori Whitlock. I'm a huge fan of Lori Whitlock as well. I've recently discovered her website where I can purchase SVGs for some of the Doodlebug designs, and let me tell you how happy that makes me. So happy, so happy. Alright, so I've got this, and then I've got a Die Cuts with a View, the Winter Matte Stack. I have had this for so long, but I thought the purples and the blues, they would go nicely with some of the colors in this photo. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that. It's going to be a fairly simple layout. I'm also going to be cutting out my title with my Cricut machine using, I believe, one is a Cricut system font, and the other one is a system font, a just standard font that you can have on your computer. So I went ahead and popped that all through, and I will be using that for my title, and I'm sure I'm going to bring in some bits and pieces from other things as I start embellishing. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing first, let's do some mixed media. So I've got some Mermaid Lagoon and Shaded Lilac Distress ink, and I am putting it on a piece of packaging and spritzing it with some pearl mist that I've made using Perfect Pearls powder, and this is going to give it a nice little shimmer and shine, and I'm just splotching that all over, and this paper is already gessoed. Now it's time for the tedious part of backing all of these Christmas trees with pattern paper. So I'm pulling a few of the papers from the Die Cuts with a View stack, and I found one from the Echo Park one that I liked, that I thought would go together. So once I do that, I'm going to kind of play around with different ways to adhere and cut these out. So at first I started to draw an outline around everything and then cut out the outline, and I actually think that this way might work the best for me, but I tried it a couple other ways too, like adhering it and then cutting around it. Basically, you've got to find what works best for you and what you are happy doing. I am using the let's see, what do I end up using? It was the Stampin' Up fine tip glue pen, because I'm really not happy with the container I have my other adhesives in, so I've really got to go ahead and get some fine liner bottles for all of them, because the bottles that I have them in, they keep clogging and I have to clean it out and fight with it every time. So here you see me, I had adhered it down and then I'm trimming around it, and this worked, but I felt it wasn't the best. I was trying to make it as easy as possible. And I have to say that these scissors, I've said it before in every video that I've had to fussy cut, I love these Fiskars scissors. They do not hurt my thumb or hand at all. So you can see here like what a lovely effect backing all the cutouts did, and it was wonderful. Now I put all of these out and I thought, you know what, we need some more. So I grabbed some picked raspberry distress ink, and I went ahead and used the packaging technique to just get a little bit more of that pink color in, to have everything pop a bit more. So this is basically how I've decided I want my layout to be. I want the trees to be kind of peeking up over the top. I'm going to layer up some of my pieces. I decided that these colors would look fantastic with a pop of black, so I'm putting a little matting behind my photos to help them to pop up and help with giving that pop of black. And I've got some of my my title, which I've cut out with black cardstock. And I love these colors together. These are definitely some of my favorite colors here. And you know, the purples, the blues, the pinks, right up my alley. So I went ahead and I matted both of my photos, and at first I thought I was just going to have them like nice and neat and lined up on the bottom, but then I kind of ended up with this, and I loved the way it looked with the photos being kind of a little cockeyed there. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere down all of the trees, and I love using my acrylic stamping blocks to weigh down items that I want to press down firmly, because I put gesso on my background paper and some mixed media. It did kind of like buckle and warp a little bit, so having your items weighted down is really going to help everything to adhere nicely. I backed both of my photos with some fun foam that I picked up from Walmart, and then it's time to take my letters, my title, and put it through my little Xyron sticker maker. I love this little guy, especially for letters and numbers and titles and all of like the small little things like this. So easy peasy, just like that. It's a little bit tedious to kind of get everything in there and pull through, but once that happens, you've got adhesive back letters. You've made your own sticker. Now, one of my tricks is to take a embossing stylus and kind of go through all of the spots where I think the adhesive's not going to really pop up, and this helps make sure the sticky's more on the back instead of like in the center of the O. That's going to not be good in the long term. My original thought with my title was to just go ahead and adhere it straight onto my background and call it a day. But I felt that with all of the different patterns and everything that my title was going to get lost. So I grabbed some Stampin' Up! Vellum and I cut out some strips, and I end up using the banner triple punch on the edges to dress it up a little bit. So I go ahead and line up my title on that. In case you're wondering, I use the CK stenography font on Main Street USA, and for the Christmas I used one included in, it's a Cricut font, it's Soiree something, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but when you pull up your Cricut design space and you look down, you'll find it. So I adhered those down to the vellum, and I made my piece a little bit thicker than I thought I'd needed it to be, just because I wanted to have some wiggle room to work with. And I'm going to adhere those up. I love the way the foil paper cut out Christmas. This is the Stampin' Up! Silver foil, and it's just gorgeous. I love this font with this. I'm going to have to use it in more of my like fancy Christmas spreads. It's really gorgeous. Now, to adhere the vellum onto the paper, I'm just going to take more of my fine tip glue pen, which is not a pen, but that's what it is, and I'm going to just put dots behind the letters to go ahead and adhere that down without being able to see it through the. Next, I'm going to look at everything and think, all right, I want a little bit more of a layer. Still want it to be a simple layout, but I want more of a layer. So I'm going to grab some Stampin' Up! Doilies and I'm going to cut them up and have them kind of peeking out around the photos. And I'm looking back, I kind of wish that I had used my distress tool around the photos on the diagonal stripe mat just to kind of give it a little more something something, but I didn't, and it still looks fine. But you know, you always think that, you know, maybe there's something more you could have done, or maybe you would have done something differently. Popped in my Mickey icon head, which is going to be a continuing theme throughout this this Disney trip. So each page is going to have one of those. I cut those out with my Cricut. The icon head is found in the Mickey and Friends cartridge. So I love it. Like, I've totally gotten my money's worth from that cartridge just by cutting out the Mickey heads. Now, after I do all this, it's going to be time to do something about those stars. So I wanted to do a silver and gold, so I went into my glitter glue section and I auditioned a whole bunch of different glitter glues, and I end up settling on the silver Studio G glitter glue for some of them. And this is really inexpensive. I think they work just as well as Stickles, and they're not as expensive as Stickles. And then for the gold, I couldn't find the right gold, so I took just the white glitter from Studio G, the glitter glue, and I'm going to top it with some Martha Stewart glitter. I love some of her glitters, especially like the more like antique-y metal ones. They're gorgeous. So, you know, while all that's setting, you know, it's perfect. It's perfect. I love that. Right, and here we have the finished layout. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I kind of feel like I kept it pretty simple. The hardest part of all of this is putting all of the pattern paper behind the Christmas trees. That was the toughest part, which was by no means difficult. It was just a little tedious, but that's how it is whenever you're fussy cutting anything. I didn't add any journaling to this because I think the title says it all, Christmas on Main Street. It's going to be in my Disney album as part of that story, and I mean that's really all this is. It's just decoration on Main Street, USA, at the Magic Kingdom in Disney. So that's super fun. I'm going to have to do this more. I forget that I can use my Cricut to cut out my letters and everything. I've been like, oh, I need alphabet stickers. I need alpha stickers. And I can't quite justify paying for the alphabet stickers because they are kind of pricey in my opinion. Well worth it, but I have a Cricut machine and that makes it like even harder to justify. So I'm just going to have to cut out a lot more of my titles with my Cricut machine. I know it's going to be tough. It's such a hardship, but I think in the long run it will be good. And Cricut Access does have a font only subscription, so that is pretty awesome, and I think I might have to jump on that bandwagon, but we'll see. So yeah, that was it for today's videos. Just in case you guys didn't know, I do book and plan Disney vacations. I'm a travel consultant specializing in Disney destinations, affiliated with Academy Travels and MickeyVacations.com. So if you want a free vacation quote or want me to help you book and plan your magical Disney vacation, go ahead and contact me. My services are free. Using a travel agent is always free to you. Most of the time your destination, whatever your package price is, they've already factored in the cost for travel agents. So you might as well go ahead and get what you're already paying for and use me. So go ahead, leave a comment in the section below, or message me, whatever you need to do to get in touch with me. I'll have a link to my Facebook page for my Disney planning in the description bar if you want to contact me directly or find out a little bit more about what I do that way. And I'm going to stop rambling now. My shameless plug is over. So until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.